Good evening from the nation's capital. I'm David Aiken. Thank you so much for watching. We begin tonight with a battleground Canada story. The federal by-elections in 4 ridings. By-elections to be held June 30th. Advance polls open Friday. And ahead of that deadline, the politicking is getting fast and furious. Liberals in the Toronto riding of Scarborough-Agincourt are accusing the Conservatives of distorting the views of the former MP. That would be Liberal Jim Carriagianis. And of twisting pro-pot policies of leader Justin Trudeau. The Liberal candidate in the riding is Arnold Chan, who joins us now. Arnold, thank you so much for being here. And let me ask you, first of all, about the Jimmy Carriagianis quote that they're putting on this flyer, in which Carriagianis, the Conservatives says, oh, this is not my Liberal Party anymore. The party has changed. Have you had constituents, and again, the Conservatives took this out of context. He's not necessarily talking about him quitting. Have you had folks in your office and your constituents ask you, what's going on here?
Well, first of all, David, thank you so much for letting me on your show. And yes, this particular unfortunate attack ad has just recently appeared in the last few days, and we've been getting calls at our campaign office, wondering, in fact, whether this misleading ad was something that was put out by Jim Carriagianis himself. And they were obviously very concerned about this particular statement. And as a result, Mr. Carriagianis himself has come out strongly against this particular attack ad that has been leveled against us. And I, in fact, spoke to him a few hours ago, where he indicated that he was disgusted by this particular ad. And I myself am very disappointed that this is part of an ongoing pattern that we're seeing from the Conservative Party when they don't have something positive to say, that they have to actually go to these types of negative, divisive attack ads. And
Arnold, as you certainly know, just to remind our viewers, Carriagianis held the riding since 1988 when he retired. He was the second longest serving, tied for the second longest serving MP in the House of Commons. And those who know Jim, I'm sure you do too, Arnold, you know, he plays his politics kind of rough and tumble, so I'm certain Carriagianis wouldn't take this very kindly. Other than this, his call today to you and standing up about this ad, has Carriagianis been able to help you in the campaign and support your campaign?
Well, one has to keep in mind that Mr. Carriagianis resigned from Parliament in order to contest in an upcoming municipal election in Ward 39. And therefore, you know, I've respected the fact that Jim has been preparing for his particular campaign to become potentially the next city councillor should he get the confidence of the voters in Ward 39.
And we should, I was just going to note that the other incumbent in the Toronto by-election, Olivia Chow, she also is sitting this out, not campaigning on behalf of Joe Cressy. We know what she's doing. She's running a campaign too.
Exactly.
Now, the flip side of this flyer suggests that leader Justin Trudeau, the Liberal leader Justin Trudeau, would make marijuana available in local stores, quote, just like alcohol and cigarettes, and it comes with a picture of what looks like a teenager lighting up a joint. And Arnold, we asked Trudeau himself about this ad today, and I want to play for our viewers what Trudeau had to say about this particular part of that flyer.
Anyone who would accuse a father of 3, as I am, of wishing harm on children needs to seriously ask themselves some questions about how they choose to practice politics. We want to make it more difficult for young people to access marijuana by controlling and regulating it, and we want to keep money out of the hands of the organized crime that are making millions of dollars selling it now on the black market.
And Arnold, of course, I assume we're going to hear more about this when the full campaign gets going in 2015. But for now, is pot an issue on the doorstep for your constituents? I assume they've heard about Trudeau's plan to legalize marijuana.
Look, what I've primarily been hearing at the doors is their concern about getting good paying jobs, maintaining a strong middle class. This is really, I think, the core issue that has been topical in the riding. Not this sort of sideshow with respect to marijuana or legalization. People in the riding, you know, this is a riding that I grew up in, Scarborough-Agincourt, one where I had the opportunity to grow up, you know, living on these streets, going to school in Scarborough-Agincourt, and through hard work, we were able to actually achieve that strong middle class dream. And as I meet constituents, as I go around the riding, they're finding it more and more difficult to achieve the same things that I could achieve just one generation ago. And so those are really, I think, the core issues, that and along with the importance of investing in infrastructure, making sure things like the Scarborough subway get built, or ensuring that we have a federal government that is an important partner in making sure that we have good public transit in the riding of Scarborough-Agincourt and throughout the Scarborough region.
You may be asked, people would know about Trudeau's plan to legalize pot. Are you in favor of that particular policy?
Look, I also am a lawyer, and although I did not primarily practice in criminal law, I have had at times in my past defended individuals who have been subject to criminal sanction through possession of minor amounts of marijuana. We know this is a policy that does not work. And as also a father of 3 children, I do not want my children to ultimately be using these types of substances. But we know that instead of putting money into the criminal justice system, we in fact should be investing in areas like prevention and just the same way that we are investing in other areas to discourage minors and young people from starting from the use of tobacco and alcohol. We would divert this type of money again to make sure that that individuals and particularly young people do not start down this harmful path.
As I mentioned at the top of the show, the riding's been held by Karygiannis since 1988, a very long time, and I think, and won handily pretty much every time out. Jim was a very popular politician. There's some people wondering, okay, was it the personality involved, the MP? Was it the Liberal brand? It seems the other Scarborough ridings, the Liberals do well too, so you assume the brand is strong. But I wonder, seeing the Conservatives launch this kind of attack and get involved in this real bare knuckles, bear brawl kind of politics, is it your sense the Conservatives think they have a chance? Or are you worried that the Liberal hold here could slip away?
Look, first of all, I want to start by, again, thanking Jim Karygiannis for his tremendous service for the last almost 26 years in Scarborough-Agincourt. He worked incredibly hard. Every time I go and knock on the doors, I definitely hear the name Jim Karygiannis over and over again. And it's a testament to the tremendous work that Jim put into the riding. But on the same token, you're absolutely right, David. This is also a very strong Liberal riding, and I have met many constituents in the riding who identify strongly with the Liberal Party. And I'm confident that on June 30th, through both a combination of hard work and getting out our positive message that of building a strong middle class, that we will again retain the confidence of Scarborough-Agincourt voters.
Last quick question, then I'll be talking all about the Tories, of course, but there is another party that wants that riding, and that's the New Democrats. And federally, I think they hold a couple of the Scarborough ridings right now. I think one right next to yours, just to the east. What do you say to New Democrat voters who are saying, well, wait a minute, I think that Mulcair guy is looking pretty good, and after all, he's the leader of the official opposition?
Well, David, I take nothing for granted, and my assumption is that I'm fighting opponents from all of the political parties at the end of the day who are trying to get out their particular messages. But anyone who knows the history of Scarborough ridings generally knows that it's historically been a fight between the Conservatives and the Liberals, and notwithstanding the fact that the Liberals have held these ridings for some considerable period of time, perhaps until the recent 2011 election, we know that this is going to be a battleground riding. And so, but I'm confident that it's going to turn out well. I recognize as well that there's also a new Democratic candidate that's out there that's fighting hard to get out her particular message. But from what I'm hearing, if you look at the core issues that are of concern, again, it gets down to jobs and infrastructure and investing in making Scarborough a great place to live.
Well, Arnold Chan, best of luck on June 30th. I know you'll be trying to get out the vote with the advance polls on Friday, and thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Great. Thanks for having me on, David.